Welcome to Satsunami. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Satsunami. I'm Satsunami and joining me today for this discussion in a galaxy far, far away is a very familiar voice that you might have heard on the channel, Jan, who is from the very awesome Beer and Chill podcast. Jan, welcome to Satsunami. Yeah.
Finally! We are talking about Star Wars.
I know, it is long overdue. Like, we haven't even discussed... I don't think we've touched Star Wars on this channel yet, or this podcast yet.
No, you did. You listened.
Oh yeah, no, we did. Yeah.
The Star Wars games?
Oh, of course,
and,
yeah.
And I remember I was listening to it in my work, and I was like, oh, come on, guys, you missed this fact, and you missed this fact. And I was like, no, that's not true. This is true. You know, I was like still correcting you.
Oh, yeah.
What can I say? I'm just a massive Star Wars geek. Yeah. I'm always excited to talk about Star Wars. I can talk about Star Wars for hours. That's why this episode is 4 hours long.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Chatsu cut, and then there's gonna be a 6-hour cut edited by Jan later on. So yeah, be on the lookout for Christmas because you're gonna want to wrap that up and put it under your tree.
It's gonna be just raw edition, you know. I mean, I'm not gonna edit it. We just gonna be talking raw about Star Wars.
I mean, when it comes to Star Wars, you and I are just true artists, aren't we? Just
you. You're the first guy who ever called me an artist.
Yeah, it was a compliment. Don't get me wrong, it was a compliment.
I don't know why. I just hear like an insult, and then like, oh, this guy, he's such a Star Wars nerd.
Yeah. Oh no, you and me both. Because last time I was on the Beer and Chill podcast, I think it was you and I talking about obscure Star Wars facts, and I feel ashamed to say that I got 5 out of 6 of them.
No, I think you did the most. Yeah, I think you did the most right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was surprising even to me. Like some of the facts you brought up, and I was like, I hate the fact that I know this fact. Like Jar Jar Binks having a dad that tried to shoot himself, and fun times. which reminds me, didn't we agree that you're gonna do the same, but with me the next round? Oh yeah, definitely. I'm actually preparing that. That's why Adam isn't on this episode. He's away compiling all the questions for us. So,
all right.
Yeah, that's totally the reason why he's not on tonight. Yeah, I've just sent him away and been like, yes, go get all the obscure facts you can.
Was Adam the guy who you were talking to during the Star Wars Games episode?
That's the one, yep.
Adam, I'm calling you out for the Star Wars facts just now. You and me, Star Wars battle. Because I remember I was correcting you like in my mind when I was listening to you. Always it was Adam. Now thinking it's Adam. He's like, it's just Star Wars. Who cares? I'm just making fun of it.
It's always when you listen back to these episodes and you think, that fact was totally wrong. Like actually, there was an episode that we released a couple of weeks ago where I said I was actually listening to it as I was editing it, and I thought, I'm sure surely that what I said isn't correct. And then I looked it up in Google and I was like, wow, I am far off the mark here. I am totally not right here. So I had to look it up again and be like, yeah, I'm going to edit out this. This is a good long minute. I'm going to take that out. You're just like, yeah, let's pretend that I know what I'm talking about for these episodes.
if it's okay, right?
No, go for
Before
it.
we're gonna start talking about the Bad Batch, which is topic of the day, I need to ask you, right?
Go for it.
So Star Wars Visions is coming 2 days from now on when we record this episode. Are you excited?
A little bit. It'll be interesting. I mean, it's not going to be any worse. I haven't seen it, so this is me jumping on the bandwagon of, Disney's bad, But it can't be any worse than the Star Wars... Was it Star Wars Resistance? Or whatever it was, the CGI one? It can't be any worse than that, or Rebels, or, surely not.
Rebels weren't that bad.
Okay, early Rebels then. Okay, let me rephrase. Early Rebels then. Season 1 Rebels, yeah. What about yourself though? Are you looking forward to it?
I actually don't know. I mean, I'm not a big fan of anime, right? I'm not saying I hate it. I try to get into it, but I never do. It's just anime is not for me for the reason that it's way too much over the top, right? And when I saw this Star Wars trailer for this series, and I saw fucking lady with 6 lightsabers, and whip lightsabers, like, oh God. This is not gonna be for me.
I suppose on the plus side, surely it can't be any more wacky than, say, the 2003 Clone Wars. Surely
But that's
not.
why it's why I don't like. You see, I said I'm not a big fan of 2003 Clone Wars.
Of
I prefer
course,
the
yeah.
CGI one because I don't like the 2002 2003 one because it's like way too much over the top. But anyway, I will tell you what I'm excited for. Have you seen the Halloween Lego special for Lego Star Wars?
I have not, but I will be watching it after this episode.
There is a trailer for it. It comes on Halloween and it looks absolutely brilliant. I just love when they took Star Wars and make like the ridiculous side of it, you know?
I'm still reeling over the Christmas special. The Christmas special was great for the Lego one.
Yeah, this is to be like a sequel to it, you know? But it's on Halloween and it's supposed to be like this what was it? I think it's Poe Dameron. He's traveling to like a Vader's castle, right? Which is like in this story is like removed into like a scary hotel.
Yeah.
And they tell like 5 scary stories about Star Wars, you know, and Star Wars villains. And I can't wait. The trailer looks absolutely brilliant.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. They do a good job on that. I mean, not to, you know, it's like beating a dead horse, making fun of the like sequel trilogy, but it's like when you're more excited about the Star Wars Lego spin-off than those films, you know, that something's gone wrong somewhere. And the line, some severely gone wrong. Speaking of things, you know, you're looking forward to, you were just saying there that you were a big fan of the CGI Clone Wars, which, not gonna lie, like, I do agree, I binge watched it. During the lockdown last year in 2020, I binged it, the entire thing. I loved it. I wasn't sure what to think of it, because the only, like, kind of exposure I had, you know, was the film, like, when that came out, and then later I watched the series, absolutely loved it, and that definitely is another Chatsu episode. Yeah, it was like fantastic. And then when I heard The Bad Batch was coming out, which was, let's face it, The Bad Batch is just like an epilogue almost to.
But it's like new season of Clone Wars, basically. Yeah,
it basically is just season 8 of the Clone Wars. Well, for the most part, yeah.
Not only I love Clone Wars, right? I lived through Clone Wars. I grew up on Clone Wars. Man, I can't imagine you can't imagine like small Jan, you know, watching every episode online, and then whole week, because it was released weekly, right? Whole week rewatching the same episode when I get free time, so I can watch the next one. And I imagine I always like we talk about it of recording today. I always went like to the StarWars.com, the official website. And they always put like a sneak peeks of a next episode of Clone Wars, and I watch it. Yeah, so I was like watching during the release of every episode. I watch it. I love that, man. It's what can I say?
So what you're saying is you're a bit of a fan of this series.
Yeah, you can say that, yeah. When I find out there's gonna be a new season 7 of the Clone Wars. Oh boy! I remember I think it was a few months before I moved to UK and I saw the trailer. I was like, oh boy! Here we go. Clone Wars is back, and Clone Wars never disappoints.
I think that's what got me back into the Clone Wars when they announced season 7, because until then I'd only seen bits and pieces of it, and I kind of thought, it was alright, you know, what I saw, and some bits were fantastic, you know. And then when season 7 came out, I kind of thought, okay, maybe I should, you know, get back into it, and no, definitely was worth it, especially for the build up to season 7. And then, of course, after that, they announced, because this is what Disney Star Wars is doing just now, you know, they're announcing like every single series under the sun, you know. You've got The Mandalorian, which of course is fantastic, you know, you've got...
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, you've got...
No, like, it's good, good. What I'm talking about is very good.
Yeah. You know, you've got all these series that are coming out recently, you know, the Lego spin-offs, as we just established, you know, Star Wars Visions and everything. And then they announced The Bad Batch, which is quite an interesting choice, I have to say, of a spin-off. So the Bad Batch were a group of genetically, would it be right to say genetically defunct clones who have like, they're kind of, they've got like special abilities of their own. Like
special mutations.
Yeah, special mutations, thank you. You've got like one who can hunt really well, you've got the strong one, you've got the tech whiz, you've got the sniper, you know, and all of this. And there was like, I think 3 episodes in season 7 of the Clone Wars where they focused on them them trying to rescue another clone, Echo, from this separatist.
Echo was one of my favorites, man.
Yeah.
Echo, Fives, and like whole the Domino Squad, if you remember the arc.
Yeah.
It was Heavy, Echo, Fives. Five was my favorite. Yeah, sorry, continue.
We really need to do like a CGI Clone Wars retrospective.
Oh no, that's a mistake. It's gonna be like 10 hours long.
Oh yeah. Don't worry. Let's just give it to Craig to edit. It'll be fine.
Yes.
So anyway, sorry. Yeah, there was those episodes, and yeah, then kind of, I can't remember when it was, but it was definitely a couple of weeks after that, they announced that they were bringing out a Bad Batch. In fact, they announced like a whole list of shows, like there was going to be an Ahsoka show, there was going to be this and that, there's honestly loads. Like, I could sit here and like list them all, but honestly, go look up the poster. There's like a long list, like longer than the title cards at the beginning of films, and it was really interesting.
If you're gonna compare quickly the animated shows to the live action, like let's compare like Bad Batch and Clone Wars to Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, right? I prefer animations over live actions in a way that with animations, so first of all, it's cheaper, and second of all, you can do more. You can open more your imagination, you can do more. I got this feeling that in live action you're very, very limited. Because with CGI and stuff like that, with animation, you just don't care. You just make like these huge CGI battles, like in Clone Wars. You can just open your mind a little bit, So, like I said, I prefer the animations over the live action. Well, how about you?
I feel as if for the live action, you can, or not the live action, for the CGI, you can get away with a lot more. You can have more of like a grander scale and everything. Whereas, although you can, have big battles in live action, you have to kind of make sure they're realistic. If you know what I mean. You can't just have, I mean, you've seen what it's like, behind the scenes where they've got like the big screens and everything, like the big green screens, and they're jumping from step to step, and it's just dumb, that way. It's like, well, it looks dumb behind the scenes. It looks a little bit better in the actual film, but for this, it's like they don't have to worry about that. They can just get the characters and just absolutely just go for it, which is absolutely is fantastic. So yeah, before we jump into the Bad Batch as a whole, really rip into this series. Yeah,
put our teeth into it, like ripping out the whole series.
Exactly. Yeah, indeed. Before we do that, we are going to listen to a few messages, and then we will be right back after those. So hang on.
Is there any message for me now?
Hold on, let me check.
Someone who's a fan of beer and chill, and especially me, no?
Let's have a look. Welcome to Satsunami, a variety podcast that talks about topics from gaming and films to streaming and general interests.
Previously on Satsunami, we discussed Game of the Decade, Deadly Premonition, the romantic thriller Birdemic, and listen to us get all sappy as we discuss our top 5 Christmas films.
If that sounds like your cup of tea, then you can find us on Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, and all good podcast apps. As always, stay safe,
stay awesome, and most importantly,
stay hydrated.
We are Beer and Chill Podcast.
Podcast where we review TV shows, games, movies, and whatever else takes our fancy.
So what are you waiting for? If you're a cool kid like us, you're gonna listen to the Beer and Chill Podcast. You can get it anywhere from Spotify all the way to your grandmother's radio. My name is Jan.
And I'm Craigie C.
And we are
Beer and Chill.
So yeah, as we were just discussing in the intro there, today we are going to be talking about the Bad Batch, which I've got a question for you, Jan, before we jump into this. What were your impressions? Like, when you heard about the Bad Batch being released to Disney Plus, what were your thoughts?
Well, first of all, Bad Batch, more like Good Batch.
Well, true.
Was it good?
Yeah,
That was a stupid joke. And sorry, what was the question again? I was focusing on saying this.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, what were your impressions of the Bad Batch? Like, when you heard about it coming out, when Disney announced and said, oh, we've got this new series coming out, and we're going to be focusing solely on the Bad Batch as the main protagonist, like, what did you think at the time?
First, I was like, oh. Then I saw, like, the title card, I was like, Then I saw that it's supposed to be a continuation of Clone Wars. I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch it. Shut up.
Yeah.
Then I watched the Star Wars, the trailer. I was like, okay, you sold me in.
Yeah.
Please give it to me. Give it to me. Put it in my wins. Come on.
Yeah.
Everything. Don't left every episode. I want everything in.
I mean, I honestly, like, I think I was in a similar boat. I didn't know what to think. Like, when I first heard about this, I was kind of like, huh. Okay, this is a thing. I'm going to be honest, and please don't hate me for this, but I wasn't 100% pro Bad Batch. Like, when I saw them in the Clone Wars, like, they were all right, but it almost felt like, you've got your stereotype characters, for, like, the special forces. Like, you've got your Rambo, you've got your, sorry, just to quickly explain, the main characters are split up into basically the roles, let's say. So you've got Hunter, who is the leader, / as the name implies, he's really good at, like, tracking people. You have Tech, who you don't need to be a tech whiz to figure out what he does in the team. You've got Wrecker, who wrecks things, he's the muscle of the group. You've got Crosshair, who is the sniper. Eventually, they get joined by Echo, who, I have to admit, I think Echo is probably the only one whose name doesn't really reflect what he does in the team. I think it's just kind of there.
It just remind me of the scene when it was like, wait, which episode was it? Was it the one when they were like the droid factory? They were like, oh no, we need an Echo here. And he was like, yes. I was like, what? No, I'm Echo.
Yeah, he's just kind of there, isn't he?
Do you know what I hate about Bad Batch the most?
Do tell.
Tech. I can't stand that guy. I honestly, every time he opens his mouth, I want to punch him.
Yeah, I feel as if, like, he is definitely the exposition machine of this show. Yeah. And do you feel the same way?
No, I think he's just an annoying bum. That's what I think. His voice is very annoying as well. And every time he just opens his mouth, it's like, oh my god, shut up, Tech! No one cares!
No, it's just whenever he opens, as you said, he is annoying, but whenever he opens his mouth, you always hear him say something exposition-y. He'll turn around and say something like, oh, you're Saw Gerrera, which, by the way, side tangent, see Disney or any other show trying to get Saw to be a legitimate character, just stop. Look, Disney, I liked Rogue One, okay? I'm one of those weirdos that actually didn't mind Rogue One, but
okay. I'm gonna stop you right there. Right? Saw Gerrera started from the Clone Wars.
No, I know. He was good in that episode. Like, he was good in his debut.
So...
I will admit, he was good in his debut. He was good... he was there in Rogue One. But he was good in his debut episode. But ever since then, it's as if he just keeps popping up. And it's like...
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it's like, what child is turning around to their mum and saying, Mummy, I want a Saw Gerrera figure for Christmas. Nobody. And if your child is asking that, take them to a therapist. Something's wrong there. But anyway, beside the point. It's like, the thing I think that's annoying is the fact they keep, they're doing the very Star Warsy thing where they keep bringing in characters from the past. You've got Saw Gerrera, you've got the Wonder Twins, I can't remember their names. The two sisters at the end of season 7 that tag along with Ahsoka.
Yeah, I was like, who? Wonder Twins?
Yeah, Wonder Twins.
I can't imagine like two Jedis.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Did I miss something?
No, see, if you skip those episodes, you're really missing nothing. Let's face it, you're missing nothing. But those two people, yeah, like, you've got them. You've got who's the you've got Rex as well. But at least, sorry, you okay?
It's just, if you had a camera, you would see me like how confused I was when you mentioned Wonder Twins. I was like, what? What?
Yeah, it's the expanded universe. That's gonna be next week's episode. Where we talk about the Wonder Twins and Clone Wars. But yeah, you've got them, you've got Rex, which at least Rex makes sense because, it's clones trying to find one another. They've like moved away from the Empire. That makes sense at least.
But who doesn't like Rex as well?
Oh yeah, Rex is awesome. It really is. But you get all of these other characters that just pop up out of nowhere and you're just like, come on. Does everybody in the universe need to know one another? Sorry, go on.
To be honest, I quite like this, that everything is connected.
Yeah,
I'm one of those guys who actually likes. I like when everything is connected. I like when this character stumbles into that one, you know. I know it makes it like the galaxy smaller, but on the other side, for me, I see it in a way that those characters make bigger impact. Such a big impact I need to show even the Wonder Twins.
Yeah.
You know, the famous legendary
The famous
Wonder
Wonder
Twins.
Twins.
Who can forget? First, see, when you mentioned Wonder Twins, I thought I was like, is he talking about Luke and Leia? Or
No. I wish, no. Yeah, like some of them I don't mind. I think it's more okay, like I'll put it this way, I don't mind so much them bumping into some of these characters. I think what I mind more is like Tech comes out of nowhere and it's just like, oh, you're Saw Gerrera from the whatever. It's like, you know when like cartoons do that, like The Simpsons and things like that, where they're like, in fact, have you ever seen the episode of The Simpsons where they go to London? You ever seen that one? No. So there's an episode, this is a brief side tangent, but trust me, it's very relevant. Basically, there's an episode in that where they go to London, and you know, it was very famous when it came out here because, you know, Simpsons come to London, there's all the stereotypes, and they got all these like celebrities to voice characters for literally 2 seconds. You know, you had Tony Blair, J.K. Rowling, Ian McKellen. Right. They were literally in it for 2 seconds, and every time they bumped into a character, Lisa would go, look, it's Prime Minister Tony Blair. Look, it's the Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling. That's how I feel Tech is in this series. Is like, look, it's Rex. Look, it's Leia. You know, But you know what I mean?
It's mostly Tech, yeah.
Yeah, it's always Tech. Yeah, like, Tech, shut up.
And he's so much unfunny. I remember it was the second episode, which I quite like. It was the one where, was it Omega or how they say Omega? I don't know if it's Omega or Omega. They always like change it. How she like escaped the ship, the shuttle, you know, in the middle of the, you know, like the Imperial hangar. And they're like, oh my god, where's Omega? And they, you know, take a like at the window, pointing at her, found her. You're so funny. Like, shut up.
I think that was a Disney thing. It's definitely like they've said, oh, we're going to have comic relief. Can we just like take a side tangent to talk about the Omega in the room? Or Omega, whatever you want to say. Can I just say, by the way, I say Omega. Every time I hear Omega, I think of the fish tablets. You know, the Omega. You know, Omega-3 tablets you get? You know, it's like, or you see them in food. Don't worry, I'll send you an image of them. I can't believe a discussion about Bad Batch is now going on to vitamins, but trust me, it's real. As every time I hear the words like Omega, I think of the words like Omega-3, you know, and it's like, oh, it's these tablets good for your concentration and vitamins and that. Although, ironically enough, Omega is, or Omega, whatever you want to call her, she is not good for anything in this show.
What?
Like, well, okay, she's good for some things, but like, she is basically, I have to admit, when I saw the promotional stuff for the Bad Batch, I saw all the characters, you know, Wrecker, Hunter, everyone else, and I thought, oh, this is going to be cool. And then all of a sudden I see this poster, and I lean closer and I think, that looks like a child. That looks like a child in my Star Wars war drama. What? And I'm like, no. You know that way where they just put in like a token, like child character to be like the new set of eyes for the universe. You know, it's like, oh, this child hasn't seen Camino, or she hasn't seen, you know, all of these other planets. She hasn't seen Coruscant. You know, like I'm just like pulling names out of hat, but you know what I mean. She hasn't seen the world.
To be honest, I quite like it because, you know, like there gotta be some people who never watched Star Wars before, and you can introduce these things people should know already. Through Omega, who sees things for the very first time. See, when I'm like in my head writing my own stories, I always introduce a character who doesn't know anything, and you can like use this character to introduce things again, you know?
Oh, no,
so
definitely.
I quite like it. I'm a sucker for these stories, right? Where there is like this battle-worn character who now needs to be a dad, you know? Lately we have it a lot. We got Mandalorian, we had Logan, we got Bad Batch. It's overused in today, but I love it. I love these stories, man. I love seeing, you got God of War as well. I love these characters who know, only thing they know is like being edgy, cool, you know? Now they need to be learn how to be a human. I love this, and that's why I love about Bad Batch is like Omega is there for a reason. to make a Bad Batch a family, like, because that's what they end up being. Hunter being like the big brother, you know. She said it himself. She said that they are not just you know, just her squad. It's her family, her brothers, you know. Yeah, I'm sucker for these stories, man. I love family, so that's what I love. Like, my favorite Marvel movies are Guardians of the Galaxy, you know. It's the same story. 5 guys learn how to be a family.
Great film, by the way. Just
Yeah.
I'll point that out. Well, I can see your point there. I don't know. Like, I feel as if, like, see at the beginning, I feel as if it was like, although she was a little bit annoying, but like not overly, you know. Like it was just the generic child being like, "Hi, I'm Omega," and you're like, okay, you just sit down there. You sit over there with the long neck people. It's like, you mean the Kaminoans? Yes, the long neck people. You just sit over there. Yeah, you just
sit with those dinosaurs over there.
you stay over there. We'll stay over here on the clone table. You stay over there on the I don't know what table you sit at. But yeah, like, I have to admit though, the first episode, like, dialing it back a bit, the first episode I was really impressed by it. There were moments where I was kind of like, that's a bit thingy, but this is my confession of the night. I am a huge sucker for the Empire and everything, and I feel as if this period in Star Wars is like criminally underexplored. You know, the transition between the fall of the Republic and then the rise of the Empire, and there's that like kind
skip it, right? They always skip it like to when Empire is already a thing.
Yeah. No, and it's just like you always see rebels, you know, like just start where the Empire in full swing, or, you know, things like that. You never see this like slow, steady build up, because you think clone troopers didn't just take off their helmets, put on a stormtrooper one. It's like, oh, that's it. And that's what I love, like, both about Clone Wars and this one, is that there's this slow, gradual progression into the Empire, and it is quite chilling to watch when you see, like, you get to see Order 66 enacted, and because the Bad Batch are obviously quite different, they are, for the most part, their inhibitor chips don't set them off to start killing Jedi. Although I will say this, and probably a good place to say probably, we're going to dive into spoilers, so yeah, be warned. But
you have been warned.
Yeah, but at the very beginning, we get introduced to a young Padawan with his master, and they are trying to fight off this separatist like push. And the young Padawan is supposed to be the like main Jedi Knight in Star Wars Rebels, like the adult one, not the weird child with the candy colour hair. That's another rant for another day. His voice, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Like, what was up with that? Where he's just got this really deep, "It's okay, Master. We're on our way." You're like, you're not a child.
It's always Freddie Prinze Jr., right? He's voiced him in the Rebels, and now he still voiced him like as a child, and hey, give him a break. He tried. Like, you can hear that he tried to sound like a kid, even though he didn't at all. But
they could have pitched his voice up. Do you know what it reminds me of? And this is going to sound so terrible. Do you remember those like Stranger Danger videos you used to get in the early days of the internet, where it's like, be careful who you're talking to? It's like,
don't forget, I grew up in Czech Republic.
Oh, of course,
we didn't even had Netflix in there.
Good point. Carry on. I just always remember these adverts you used to get where it was like someone like as a child's voice speaking, and it's like, oh, I'm, you know, so and so, and I'm, you know, whatever, and then of course it pans round, it turns out to be like a 40-year-old man. It almost feels like that, where it's like he didn't even attempt it. He was just like, "Yes, I am a Padawan." No, you're not. Get out.
It also reminds me, have you played Witcher 3?
Yeah.
There's like this, it's a DLC, it's like a free DLC. It's called Where a Cat and a Wolf Plays. It's like a side mission. And there's like this kid, right?
Yeah.
And it was clearly voice overed by an adult person, but that person like pitched his voice like very, very high, and it's so annoying to listen to her. She's like crying, it's like, "Oh, my family died!" She's like with this high pitched voice. Can you imagine? I have this in the Bad Batch, you know?
Like, see, this is the thing. Like, if this was just like, you know, any other studio, I'd be like, oh, okay, you know, like, haha. But this is Disney. I mean, I'm like, come on. It's like, there has to be a line somewhere. Like, one of the biggest, like, the highest grossing multimedia franchises of all time, you know, is Star Wars. And it's like, oh yeah, just what's Freddie Prinze Jr. doing nowadays? Well, he's just sitting in his arse. Okay, get him in. Yeah. What's he voicing? Oh, he's voicing a child. Right, okay, just speak normally. Oh, Disney, do you want me to do that take again? Nah, it's good. No, it's only the Bad Batch, it's fine.
By the way, just a quick note, right? When we talk about Freddie Prinze Jr., he is in everything I love, right?
Is it?
So he's in Mass Effect.
Wow, really?
He's in Star Wars. And he worked for WWE as well.
Oh, damn.
So Freddie Prinze Jr. is everything I love.
Yeah. I didn't know he had like such a wide. Well, Stevie's the wrong word, but you know what I mean. Like he's done.
Neither did I.
Yeah. Is that you googling it? Just
no, I was listening to a podcast, man. It was like on this my favorite podcast show, Chris Van Vliet show, and he was there as a guest, and he was talking about his time in WWE, and then he was like, "Well, I remember this time I was in Star Wars playing this character, then I was in Mass Effect playing this character." I was like, "Holy shit, he was in Mass Effect.
Wow.
He was in Star Wars. Yeah. He is in WWE. What?"
That's amazing.
And he's married to Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, so he is, yeah. Oh.
So I like Buffy as well. So
yeah. Good going.
What?
Good for him. Sorry, I know it sounds like had like a 10-minute rant on this.
Good
like,
for you.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Having a Christian Bale moment.
Christian Bale.
Yeah. Oh, but anyway, moving swiftly on before we spend another 20 minutes ranting about him. So,
before we start talking about the side characters quickly, like the appearance. Let's finish the squad, right? So we talk about Tech, about his annoying bum. Then we talk about Omega, which you said you always imagine like the Omega, what was it, pills? Like the vitamins?
Omega 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Fish tablets,
I always imagine Kenny Omega, the wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
From AEW. Then, okay, so now you have Echo. We talk about Echo as well. He was in my favorite squad, in my favorite episodes in the Clone Wars. Yeah, you said that he's just there, right?
Yeah, like he's the only one that doesn't really fit in with the Bad Batch.
Yeah,
like not in a bad way. I think he's a good character.
No, you're right. You're right. He's doing nothing in the series. Absolutely nothing.
Because I mean, as I said before, they're all named after what they do. Hunter hunts. Wrecker wrecks. Crosshair puts things in his crosshair, and Tech is just an annoying piece of what. But but for Echo, he's got a robot arm. I think
he's got more than just an arm.
Well, he's got a robot arm. He's got a funny helmet. My God, the amount of like fan speculation of how does Echo put his helmet on? It's like, does it really matter? Everyone's like, of course it matters because it has to clip into it. And like, really, is this where we are in the fan base? We're discussing bloody clips.
But it's true that he does absolutely nothing in this season. Like they start like a storyline with him that he's like scared of scanning, because he's got like PTSD from when he was in the droid factory, or what was it when they used him against the Republic?
I mean,
but they never go with it anyway. Like he's just a guy who knows Rex in this series.
The only thing that I can remember him being semi-prominent in, other than like whenever they're all together, is when he has to rescue a separatist senator. He throws such a fucking hissy fit, like, "Oh, it's a separatist senator," and it's like, yes, it is. Do you not realise the situation you're in right now? And I get why they threw it in, but it's like, listen, Echo, listen. Nobody cares. It's like no one's gonna care.
Go to the corner with Tech, all right?
Go in with Tech. That's exactly what happens. There's just a corner of the ship where it's just Echo and Tech, and that's all they do. They just stick together, and it's like, I feel it's a disservice to Echo because again, he's a good character, but my God, like what does he actually do? I mean, Hunter, I will admit, is a lot more fleshed out. I feel as if he steals the
he
borderline. He borderline steals the show. There is Wrecker, but I'm going to be honest. I'm putting my cards on the table here. I do not like Wrecker. I don't.
Wait, what?
I don't. I'm sorry. I don't. Like, I think he's all right. I think he's serviceable for what he is, but I just don't like the stereotype of like, oh, I'm a big dumb man-child, which I'm sure that's Disney, like getting back at the fan base, but he is. It's like, see when Omega brings it. Sorry, I said that with such disdain. Omega,
when Omega said,
she brings in his like teddy bear and everything, and I was laughing because I was reading the comments for this episode, and everyone was just like, "Oh yeah, that's going to be a toy, isn't it?" That's totally going to be a toy on the Christmas shelf. And then, last but not least, of course, we have Crosshair, who we haven't really talked about a lot.
Oh yeah. I'm just to go quickly to Wrecker, back to Wrecker.
Yeah.
What did you think about how we in wrestling business say about his heel turn?
Oh, his when the chip activated and they went like full Terminator. I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that, but then, I was going to say they didn't really subdue him with the power of love. That's bad to say. They did, well, they tried. It didn't work, thank God. But I like that. I like that episode. So, sorry, just to quickly explain, because of their genetic mutations, their inhibitor chips don't really work the same. And throughout the series, because Wrecker is like such a brawler, he keeps getting hit in the head, and that kind of spurs on these chips to activate. And I like that episode. I really thought that was interesting, but then he's back to his old self, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, it was very quick, you know.
Yeah.
I thought it's gonna be something more like it felt like a wasted opportunity, you know. Why couldn't he join with like Crosshair and come to the Bad Batch? It would be awesome.
What I thought, like genuinely, the way the series would go would be that they would lose each other one by one, and it would be like this kind of serious story of. And again, I know it's Star Wars, I know it's like a CGI thing, but like, you know, the whole futility of going through this conflict with each other as brothers, and then losing one another, not to the Separatists, but to, you know, this like horrible thing far out their control. But no, Wrecker's fine. He gets shoved in the machine. Nope. The thing gets plucked out. Yeah, the thing gets plucked out. That's it. He's fine. No danger. Probably got a lollipop after it. But it's like, that's it. There's nothing after that. And you're like...
Yeah, they even did it like, there was like also wasted opportunity. How about a story? How Omega needs to learn how to trust Wrecker again after that traumatic event when he nearly killed her. You know what I mean? Like, they could do something there. It was like very wasted opportunity. They could do more in that. They could more explain it, you know? It's like in real life, when you get like hurt by someone and you don't trust him anymore. Now I'm just trying to be relatable to the kids.
I know what you mean though. See, this is why I thought this is the way they were going to go, because Wrecker is built up from the beginning as this like dumb, brutish clone who is totally, he's got no skill points in his intelligence at all. You know, he can beat stuff up, he can throw things off cliffs, but he cannot, you know, hold a thought for 2 seconds. That's what I thought they were doing, that, you know, because he's so, you know, big and lovable and all that, that when his chip goes off, suddenly something snaps and then we have to feel sorry for him. And that's what everyone was saying. They were like, oh no, I'm going to be heartbroken if he turns to the Empire and all of this. And this is what I was expecting. I was like, oh, this is really cool. This is very mature. And then, 2 seconds, as I said, bloop, that's it. He's back to normal. And you're like, it's a thing. But of course, that leads us to Crosshair, who is... he is a thing.
See, sometimes I think of him, he's a badass. Then I think something else. But he's got a good theme, though. There was like this episode, right, where they didn't do much with Crosshair, right? They were like, there was this good episode when he was like in the Empire and he was like showing how evil he is and start executing like the civilians. I love that. Yeah. But that sounded weird, but you know what I mean.
No, go on.
Then he was like, you know, like hunting the Bad Batch, you know. And then there was like this episode, it was like first till finish, you know, like 3 episodes left to finish the series. And he was like, give me a permission to hunt the Bad Batch. And I was like, what the hell you did all this time then? You are telling me you didn't try to hunt Shut up. You tried. Don't tell me.
What I'm laughing at, just thinking of it, is like the Admiral turns around and goes, wait, what? You haven't been hunting the Bad Batch? What have you been doing all this time, man? Jesus, get out there. You know, it's like...
What the hell? Where did you were last week? You told me you were hunting them. Actually, when I was very hungry, I went for a snack.
I went to get that. Yeah, it's like, Jesus. Also, can I just say, like, although I like the idea of it, of Crosshair being like a total you-know-what to them, being like, oh, I'm going to shoot you all, I felt as if in some cases they went far too off the deep end. The only reason I'm saying this is it has a thing against children, and I don't know why. Like, children and the elderly, like, literally, even before, you know, he turns...
to be honest, is there someone who listening right now, right? Is there someone who actually likes children, except their own? I hate children myself. When I see a child, I want to slap it.
Well, I don't think they would go to the extent of, like, you know, seeing an old woman who's doing nothing and, like, a child. Like, there's one thing, like, I get that Crosshair's supposed to be this guy who's like, oh, I'm gonna do anything for the Empire, but it's like, use your head, man. What tactical advantage? Do you think they're having parties on, like, the Star Destroyers when they're like, sir, do you remember that camp that we're supposed to clear out for, you know, Saw Gerrera? Well, we didn't get Saw Gerrera, but we got an old woman with a cane. Is that close enough? And he's like, yeah, screw it, close enough. And they're all like partying, going, woo!
Yeah, I can imagine, like, he's like, sir, we didn't get Saw Gerrera, but I killed an old woman. You did what? Killed an old woman.
And a
You know what
child.
that means? Yeah, and a child. You know what that means? What?
Yeah.
It's time to party!
Yeah,
And
exactly.
the music, you know, and the disco ball and disco music, and they start dancing, you know,
That's like, that's honestly what it felt like at times, where it was like, I get what they were trying to do, and I appreciate they were trying to make him just like completely irredeemable, but sometimes they just went off such a deep like dive where it's like, oh, I can't be evil, I have to be Disney cartoonish evil, I have to be like, right, after this the Empire has sanctioned me to burn down an orphanage, you know, it's like like that wouldn't be out of place here. You just like, what?
I can imagine. See, I can imagine like they bomb the orphanage, you know, and then they celebrating at the Death Star, you know, like the train, you know, do 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 another children dead. Hey,
Exactly. It's like that kind of theme that they keep for him. He's got good moments, I have to say, but whenever he comes up, you're just like, oh, you're just acting like such a dick right now. It's like you're just acting like a horrible, horrible man or a horrible clone.
I think he wasn't evil enough. I want more scenes of Crosshair just walking on the streets and slapping children. That's what I want. Just like,
Yeah.
kid.
Do you know what?
Hey, you.
Do you know what it reminds me of? It's like, you know the pantomimes that we get here, where you get like children, or you get the villain in the pantomime where kids, you know, have to boo them and they're like, boo, it's the evil person who's like overly evil. It's like if you got a villain like that, but the villain actively got off the stage and started slapping the children in the front row, that's like the kind of comedic, I'm an evil person. Because there's literally a scene where he orders like these civilians to be burnt alive, and I get it, you know, it's like, oh, it's the Empire, they're evil, but it's like, there's no tactical advantage here, there's no...
But there is actually.
Well, technically.
But there is. Do you know what? They are having fun.
Well, that's true.
Is there something wrong with that?
Yeah, clones just want to have fun.
Can just a normal Imperial officer have fun, you know, even if it means take a flamethrower and just burn some kids?
Well, apparently, according to this version of the Empire, they're just like war crime happy. It's like, my God. Yeah. What I'm trying to say is this show's nothing but rebel propaganda. Just completely anti-Empire. Don't watch it. No, I'm only kidding.
But Empire did nothing wrong.
Well, that is true. Times two. Anyway, well, except for that, okay, I'm going to say it, yeah. Crosshair is not affiliated with the Empire. I'm only kidding. See, in all honesty, see from that moment on, from the first episode, maybe I'm being a bit reductive, but do you think that this turns a little bit into a side quest show? You know, it's like, yeah, like, don't get me wrong, there's some things that keep them on the track, and I have to admit, one of my favourite episodes is the one where the name of the planet's like escaping me, but they go to a planet where there's a clone deserter from the Clone Wars living there with his family. I love that. Like, I think it's fantastic.
Is it the second one?
Yeah.
Yes.
It must be,
I
yeah.
love that episode as
Yeah,
well.
because it shows you like how the Empire are slowly taking over and how people are trying to evacuate and everything. It's so well done. But then after that, they get into like, I don't even know what you call her. Is it Sid or something? Who's like this underground gangster or something? Or she owns a bar, and then
I hate her as well.
Yeah, and then every single episode is just them going off on a side quest to rescue senators, fight against slavery. What else do they do? You know, they do like a whole bunch of like side missions, and then every so often they cut back to Camino and the Empire, and you're like, oh yeah, this is a Star Wars show. It's like, oh yeah.
There was this episode when they were helping her out, when there was like her rival took over the bar.
That was awful. Yeah.
It was a horrible episode, and they like helping her out. And I was sitting and watching. I was like, why they're helping her? Like she was nothing but mean to them. It felt like if I would be them, I would just left her alone. I would be like, whatever, bye. Did
No,
they owe her something, or did I miss something?
No, I think she said, like, oh, you owe me money or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, except the money.
They do
Yeah.
pay her back, I'm sure. But I can't remember what happens after that. I think they pay her back and then they bug her off. But like, her like whole thing in the show was very, very weak. The Camino
like
stuff
her.
was interesting though. I have to say, from start to finish, it was like, this is probably a big thing to kind of jump into, but
Yeah, when you said finish, I felt your pain.
yeah, like from start to finish, there's like always a scene where, and this is something I loved about the Clone Wars as well, and this is going to sound really weird to say about like an action sci-fi show, but the Clone Wars, or not the Clone Wars, the Bad Batch as well as the Clone Wars goes into like the politics of the Star Wars universe in quite a really interesting way. You know, it's not like bogged down for the most part with like boring political talk and things, but for the context of Camino, their contract to create clones for the former Republic is now fallen through, and they're like, maybe it was a bad idea to create a whole grand army to subjugate us. You know, it's like, maybe that was just a bad idea. So like, I was expecting, so you've played Battlefront 2, haven't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, which one?
The 2005 one, the original
Yes.
one. And there's like a story mode in that where you play as the 501st.
Yes, yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
And it's absolutely fantastic, but there's like one mission where you return to Camino, and I know
Yes.
why they did it. Like in the game, I'm assuming it's because they had the resources and they had like the old models and things of the clones from the first game. So you could use it.
They rebelled
Yeah.
against the Empire or something.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
was like a Camino rebellion where they created these clones to fight against the Empire. But basically, by the end of it, yeah, that ain't happening. They definitely ain't doing that storyline. Because they arrest everyone, then they move all the clones out, and then you're like, oh, I wonder what they're gonna do now. And then you hear the "You may fire when ready," and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh no, which I know it's a big one to jump into, but my god, that was devastating. How did you feel about that? Like,
Especially if you're like my generation, where we grew up on the prequels, and Camino is like one of the main planets during the prequel trilogy. It was painful. It sounded like my dog died, but I think they got the reaction they wanted. I think.
yeah, no,
But to
absolutely.
be honest, the Battlefront 2 version was more messed up. There was even like version where Boba Fett is killing their own brothers and killing the, what was it? There's like a quest in that mission where you play as a Boba Fett and you need to take your father's DNA and destroy it.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
Like, it's such an interesting and I don't know, maybe they'll do like an equivalent of it. I feel as if they're gearing up towards that for like the next seasons, but yeah, they just like, I don't know, they just destroy Camino, and you're like, again, it's another Simpsons reference, but I don't know if you've seen that one as well, where it's like Homer running after this pig that's like flying through the air and it's going through all this sludge and things, and he's constantly telling himself, it's still good, and you know, by the time it's like away in the distance and far gone, he's like, it's still good, and Bart turns around and said, it's gone, and he's like, yeah. It's like, that's how I felt about Camino. I'm like, okay, maybe that platform survived. It's like, okay, that one's drowned. What about that platform? Oh, yep, that one's down. Okay, the whole city has been submerged in water.
And people were like, other cities were submerged as well.
Yeah,
You know?
wink. Because that's what people in the comments were saying. They were like,
Yeah.
oh, there could be other cities. And it's like, yeah, the Empire don't mess around. I'm pretty sure it was like a global tour. Think Backstreet Boys, but with more destruction, you know? Just coming around and blowing up every city. Like, I loved that episode where they're all forced to return to Camino because Hunter gets captured. And
Yeah.
I have to admit, I've got mixed feelings. Sorry, before we kind of like talk about the finale and everything, I have.
But shouldn't we like quickly run through, because we run through the main characters, and we should like quickly talk about the cameos and then talk about the finale.
Oh yeah, go for it.
But I think let's start from the beginning to the end, right? So the first big cameo that was I think the deserter. What's his name again? I just know him as a deserter, you know. But from that amazing episode in the Clone Wars, he came back. So he was like, I think it was like the first cameo back. Then Grand Moff Tarkin.
Oh yeah, that was great. Okay,
But then one of the huge ones, and I want to know what you think. Scat Bane.
I have to admit, I did get chills at that scene.
Yes.
I did not expect him to be like, I wasn't. I didn't know who it was, but I heard the voice and I was like, no way. And he's like, I know how to kill clones, and I'm like, oh, yes. And yeah, they came back, and yeah. Fantastic.
I'll tell you a quick story, right? So I got these beautiful memories from the Bad Batch was because, see, when it was on Disney Plus every week, I used to work as a bouncer in a pub, and I loved the job. I very loved it. But every time I was looking forward to come home, I was always arriving home at midnight because it was during quarantine, so the pubs can't be open till 5 a.m. or 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So I arrived home at midnight, and I just watching the Bad Batch. And so it was every time, and I was watching this episode and I was falling asleep because I was tired from the bouncing, I think I had like 2 fights that day. So I was like falling asleep and still trying to wake up because I was into the episode, So then I was falling out. I was like closing my eyes. I couldn't help myself. And then I hear the voice and I opened it. And I sit down. I was like, no, and that woke me up, and you see Cat Bane, walking slowly and shooting Hunter, he actually won the gunfight. I was like, what the hell? And then after that, there was like the Republic Commando Easter egg, when you see the helmet from the inside.
Yeah, that was cool.
Best cameo. Oh, we forgot the Mandalorian character. What's her name again? The bounty hunter.
Is it Fennec Shan or Shan?
Yes.
Or something? Yeah.
Yes, Fennec Shan. Yeah. What do you thought about her?
Yeah, I suppose, I don't know, like, I'm not pro or kind of against it. It is good, like, it's going back to what you were saying, it is kind of good that they're bringing her in, and I suppose it kind of ties the Mandalorian to the Bad Batch in a way, that's the reason why she's kind of on the hunt, or on the run from the Empire. So I thought it was alright. I thought it was serviceable. Like, I saw her, helmet and everything, I was like, oh, okay, another cameo, yay. But she wasn't that bad, I don't think.
I thought when she appeared in Mandalorian, I thought that she used to work for the Empire. Like, I think they mentioned like she was like the Empire sharpshooter or something, like the Empire assassin.
Yeah.
So they never tell she was like a bounty hunter. So I don't know what happened there.
No idea. Maybe they'll explore it in season 2, but
probably.
Yeah. Probably. Is that
So-
it really for cameos though? Just trying to think.
Yeah.
Any ones we haven't mentioned?
There was Hera Syndulla from the Rebels.
Yeah.
They made like whole episodes about her.
Yeah.
Which wasn't bad. I
Yeah.
kind of like it. I like again, like you said, the Empire becoming evil and conquering planets, and Ryloth, was like there was like these beautiful moments when they realized like the clones. They went there to save Ryloth, and now they are like enslaving it.
Yeah, that was
So
cool. I feel bad
yeah.
for Ryloth because it does get the short end of the stick and all of the conflicts. Like, you think, oh yeah, they're free from the separatists, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, this isn't going as planned.
It's like the equivalent of it was good until it wasn't. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, they're constantly getting shafted. You think, yeah, this is.
And then probably after that, it was First Order who came there.
Yeah, probably. I bet you, yeah, someone's written in that's like, yeah, the New Republic, the New Republic liberated them, and then all of a sudden the New Order come in. It's like, sorry, the First Order, and it's like, oh no.
I can imagine like a Ryloth citizen be like, I have enough of this bullshit. I'm moving out.
That's it. I'm moving to Coruscant.
Yeah. I moved to Coruscant. For people who don't get the joke, it's the same.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think that's really, other than the Kaminoans, like there's a Kaminoans there from like I would say, it's the same ones from Attack of the Clones, but let's face it, nobody sat up in their seat and went, oh, it's the two Kaminoans from Attack of the Clones.
I
Really?
did. I was like, oh my god, that's Lama Su, and that's Taiwan. Oh my god, I know them from Lego Star Wars.
Exactly. No one's referencing probably in fact, no, I'm not even going to go there and say whether or not it is the worst Star Wars film. I don't
What's
know.
her name? Tauwe, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Did I say correctly? Wait.
Oh, there's Gregory as well. Yeah. I don't think you did, but
Right.
yeah, there's Gregory as well, who's the clone commander.
Oh, I mean the Kaminoans.
Oh, the Kaminoans.
Tauwe was the name. Yeah, Tauwe. Yeah. I'm smart. What can I say? I'm
Yeah,
just like
I know.
I'm just a Star Wars nerd.
Exactly. No argument here.
Yeah, then there was a Gregor. Yeah.
Gregory, yeah. I'm just trying to. Yeah, I think
Come
that's-
on, you can think of one big cameo who was in the same episode as Gregor.
Oh, you mean the Republic Commando Scorch? Yeah.
Scorch, yes.
I was surprised because I genuinely thought, is that the same character?
It's the same model as for the
Yeah.
Clone Wars.
Mhm.
You know, when he appeared there as well for a few seconds.
I will say, although I do like that episode, the one thing I really hated was the fact that the Clone Commandos went out like chumps in that one.
But not Scorch.
Yeah, no, well, Scorch, he did hold his own, but he still
Yeah.
got, like, stunned, and he didn't die,
Yeah.
at least. Thank God they didn't kill him off. And, like, he takes two or three stuns to the back, and he's like,
Yes.
oh, I'm still going, and it's like, oh, Jesus.
What a badass.
Yeah, it's like that scene in Rocky where it's like, throw in the towel, just stay down. And he's just like,
I imagine
continue.
boss be like, oh no!
Oh no, why? Why would you do this to yourself, Scourge? But yeah, no, he survives, which is good.
Yo, Seth, I
Yeah.
did it for you!
Oh, I would love that if they did that. But then, of course, I think that is like all the cameos, really, which I know they're definitely gonna include more cameos, I think, in season 2.
Darth Vader was in it, no?
I don't think it was. I don't think
I'm
it
not
was.
sure.
No, I don't think it was. What, Vader, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think he was. No, I don't think he's been in it yet. But I wouldn't be surprised if they bring him in. Or if they... I actually can't remember if he was. If he was, then he didn't leave much of an impact, for sure. But I feel as if the Bad Batch should be looking at him going, shit.
Maybe he was just in the background, just getting lost, like, oh my god, hey, they just built this new hole, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Lucas, sorry. I walk in the wrong show.
And speaking
Oh my
of...
I want to see Confused Vader so much, man. You always see him like intimidating, you know, and you know, like being a badass. I want to see Vader being like confused or you know, like being like just not being in his head, you know.
Yeah. Have you ever seen, what was that called? You know the Star Wars show that was cancelled? It was like Star Wars...
Yo, dude,
Yo, dude, yeah.
Empire.
You know what I'm talking about, yeah. Yeah, exactly that. Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. You should join it or something.
Something.
Yeah. It's like, oh. Yeah, I bet you they were, yeah, that's probably in the cutting room floor. They're just like, yeah.
No,
yeah.
I want to see like a live action Confused Vader so much.
It's just like,
Like imagine like the meme, you know, how's the Pulp Fiction, you know, the character.
Oh yeah,
yeah, how he's like confused. I want to see Vader do that. You know, be like walking on the halls of Death Star. I'd be like, oh shit, should I go this way or should I go that way? Oh no.
Yeah.
In Robot Chicken, but
they did it in Robot Chicken. Did you say?
yeah, have you seen Robot Chicken?
Yeah.
There was like a scene. It always makes me laugh when Jar Jar comes back. You know, and like, like to Darth Vader, it's like Annie, like oh Jar Jar.
Oh yeah.
How he was to kill him, he dropped it into like a pot, and he's like, this line always makes me laugh. I don't know why. He's like, Jar Jar, my homie, go escape pod before the separatist attack. It's the way how he said my homie. You know, that's what I want to see. Like ridiculous Darth Vader live action as well.
Oh yes, absolutely. Should we move on to the finale then?
Yes.
Yeah, like what do you see overall? Like we've talked about the fall of Camino and how it like got absolutely RoboCopped, but like what were your thoughts of part 1 and 2? Well, let's lump it together. What were your thoughts overall?
I'm gonna admit the part 2 was kind of disappointing because nothing happened in there.
Yeah, I'd agree with
but
that.
maybe it was because I was infected by Marvel mania. I don't know how to call it, because they always had like the finale of every Marvel show. It had to be like this big CGI fight, but they could do more, not just wander around destroyed Camino, you know?
Yeah. It felt as if the episodes were almost out of order, if you know what I mean. Like, the stakes were raised so high in the last episode, you know. You had Hunter captured by the Empire, you had Crosshair betraying his own squad mates, except for the one who somehow survived. I can't remember how she survived. Oh no, she was out the room. That was why. Yeah. That's the only reason she survived. She was like, yeah, I was out the room at the time, punching, yeah, exactly, punching, or trying to punch Omega, who was like rocking.
Yes, punching children.
Yeah, who for some reason was like rocking the space bow and arrow thing, which, yeah, that's another thing entirely. Yeah, I totally agree with you. It begins so strong, you think, oh no, now Camino, this symbol of the prequel trilogy.
The
And
prequels, yeah.
Yeah, and a symbol especially of the Clone Wars, because you spend a lot of time in Kamino, like with the clones and them considering it as a home. There's a whole episode, or rather a couple of episodes, dedicated to like a separatist invasion of Kamino.
With Echo
and
exactly. Vibes,
And they try to like fend them off and they treat it as their home. It's a great episode. I would recommend anyone who hasn't seen it, watch it. Seriously, great. Yeah, then they just blow it up and it's like, oh my god. And they do treat it with the right kind of reverence, They have like slow shots of the empty halls and everything. And it's kind of like bookmarking this period of Star Wars, it's like the Clone Wars are finally over, we're starting fresh, it's not you, it's me, let's burn down Kamino, and it's like, wait, what?
Yo dude,
chill. I usually just bomb it. And it is, the build up to that as well is so cool, because it's Tarkin talking to, I don't know, Admiral Evil. There's always like a dumb name that they've got. Like in Rebels, there was a guy literally called Agent Callus, and it was like, really? Did your mother call you that? Was your brother bad man, unavailable? Or Sergeant Grimm, like what are these names? But anyway, sorry, that aside, I mean, they had General Grievous.
Lieutenant Payne.
I know they had General Grievous, but come on, he had the skills.
They got Savage Opress,
Yeah, oh
Savage
Jesus. That was on the nose a bit. Yeah, you had like dumb names like that. Like I think that is a thing in Star Wars. But yeah, whoever the Admiral was, he gets the the all go ahead. And I have to admit, I thought there was going to be a bit more hesitation from the clones, but the clones are like, well, on the one hand, this is my home, but on the other hand, I do get paid by these guys, so there we go. And then they blow up Kamino, which is absolutely a fantastic sequence. And then the second half is them just trying to escape Kamino, and it's like, I mean, they do. Spoilers, they do.
Ooh, shocking.
Yeah, and they all go their set. Well, not all, but it's weird because they end up. I think this is what annoys me about the finale the most. They all end up in the same place they did at the end of episode 1, where it's like the rest of the Bad Batch go away in their ship, but Crosshair just stands there and waits. And it's like,
do you think he waits there till this day? I mean, there wasn't no ship around. I think he just stands there alone till this day. Watching like the ocean.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping someone came back for him, because that would be very awkward to learn that the Empire don't care about you. They'd be like, oh shit, they really didn't care about me.
I think they made a sequel to it. It's called Subnautica.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
For people who didn't get the reference, it's a video game where you play alone in this water world. It's a pretty cool game, especially if you're afraid of oceans as I am.
I was actually going to say, did they not make like a sequel film to this called Waterworld, where it's just instead of the main character in that, it's just Crosshair like, yes, I'm just gonna sail this. I was gonna say
no. They made a different sequel. It's called Finding Crosshair.
Jesus, Finding Purpose. It's like it is just
that's the movie with Echo.
Oh, of course, he's still finding it. Spoilers, by the way, he does not get.
He didn't find it.
He doesn't get any more useful in this, which is a shame. But that's the way the Disney cookie crumbles, I suppose.
See, there's this moment I very, very enjoyed in this same episode. It was like, I'm not gonna lie, I tear up. It was beautiful. I just love when some moments are very deserved, It was the moment when after Crosshair kill his own mates, and he's like wants to like make the Bad Batch to join him, and then the droids came in, and they had to join forces, and their theme starts playing. It's like the Bad Batch, like without Crosshair, fighting, and then we get this moment where Crosshair joined them, and they like nothing would never happen, like go together and work together as a team, and their theme plays in the background, the famous, do 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 do, that plays in the background, and I got chills, think of it. That was like beautiful. That was a beautiful moment, and after that it was like back. Oh, Crosshair is actually an enemy. Oopsie.
Yeah, that's my main issue with Crosshair. I have to say, Crosshair just comes across as like a very over the top villain, and like he has to be, oh, I'm a child killer and granny killer, and
oopsie.
Like honestly, see if this was set in medieval tech. You know, in like medieval shows where you get like a sword and it's named after, like what they've killed, like Dragon's Bane or, something like that. Yeah, his would literally be like, I don't know, war crime or Granny Slayer. It's like,
Granny Slayer!
he kills so many.
He's like some sexual predator or something.
He just kills people for no reason. And you're like, oh my God. Oh yeah, good soldiers follow orders. Also, good soldiers fucking think. Come on, Crosshair!
You just remind me, did you know that Samuel L. Jackson, when they shoot Attack of the Clones, on his lightsaber he had written "bad motherfucker"?
Oh yeah. That is awesome.
Yeah, I know.
That's so cool. It sounds like something he would do, but it's...
It's so Samuel L. Jackson-y.
But speaking of awesome things, just to kind of summarize, like, what are your final thoughts, really, about The Bad Batch? Like, what did you think about this season? What do you hope for in the future with it?
I really enjoyed the series. I did. I love Clone Wars. We didn't even mention how the animation looks so good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It looks so
fantastic.
See, Craig, he always complains about that he doesn't want to watch Clone Wars because it's because it's like CGI and he had some issues with it, But watch it. It's so cinematic. It looks so brilliant. It's so beautiful to watch it as well. And it's so pleasant to watch it as well. Really enjoy, but to be honest, I want to see more darkness. I want to see Crosshair killing more children, killing more grannies,
Grannies.
I want to say grandchildren.
Oh, Jesus. He's looking for a promotion. I think that's it. He's just like, gotta fill the quota somehow with these crimes against humanity. Or sorry, crimes against the galaxy. It's like, jeez, Crosshair, tone it down a little bit.
I want to see more cameos as well, but not the obvious ones, Why can't we throw in like Thrawn or like the Delta Squad, Like some surprise, not like the obvious ones, like, I don't know, like
Ahsoka.
I would actually love to see her.
Oh no, she'd be great, but it's going to be like someone like that they're going to include, or I think they might include Leia maybe, I don't know. I don't know if she's too young, but yeah, sorry.
That's why Cad Bane was such a surprise. Because you don't expect it because he meant to be dead.
Exactly.
Because there was like this unreleased episode when he actually died. Boba Fett killed him when he was a child. So that's why it was like shocking to see Cad Bane. I want to see something like this, Like fan favorite characters that you wouldn't expect to show up. And by the way, Leia is a baby at this time.
Oh, is she? Right, okay.
She can appear as a baby, I don't know.
Oh, probably. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, Bail Organa comes with the baby and he's like, hey, look
at my baby!
My baby Leia! It's like...
It's actually the most important character in Star Wars history, but it's a cute baby now. Look
okay,
at her.
I'm calling it...
And Tech be like, actually, it's not actually your baby. You actually adopted it. Shut up, Tech.
I'm calling it now. There's going to be an episode similar to that. I bet you anything. There'll be an episode where a baby or some Force-sensitive child gets kidnapped and they have to go and rescue it halfway across the galaxy. I'm calling it now. There's definitely going to be like a 3 men and a baby, only it's what? 4 men and a clone. Or sorry, 4 clones and a whatever Omega is. Oh no, 4 clones and an Omega. Yeah, why not?
Omega.
Omega.
Now, do you know what another thing I want to see in the next seasons? Is confused Vader. Come on, like give me a shot how Vader is waiting for a line, for a fast food or something, waiting for his order, or like give me like I want to see Vader doing ordinary things we do every day, park a car or like ordinary things people do every day. I want to see that. I really want to see that.
Yeah. If only we got a series.
No. Make episode how Darth Vader is going shopping.
Exactly.
Come on, like go to the Morrisons or something, and you see Vader like picking like the best banana, or like he's like like choosing if he wants like a normal yogurt or fat-free yogurt, and be like, I don't know, I want diet right now. I'm just gonna. That's what I want to see.
Do you know what I'm more interested in seeing now rather than season 2 of The Bad Batch? I'm more interested in seeing all the galactic supermarkets try to get a contract for the Death Star to be like, like imagine imagine you're like a diplomat or something, you get carted halfway across the galaxy to the Death Star, one of the most like devastating weapons of this world's history. You go in, there's the theme, there's all the soldiers walking around.
Yeah.
You turn a corner and there's just an Aldi sitting there, just in the corner. And you're like, after this I should really do my shopping.
Yeah, then you have a shot of like Emperor Palpatine buying in Primark, or how Scottish people say Primark.
Oh, yeah.
Buying like a new cape, and arguing like, "Do you have this in bigger sizes, please?"
Do you have this in navy blue? Fine, I'll have it in black then, Oh, damn.
That reminds me of this scene where there was a guy who was like dressed like Emperor Palpatine, and he went to the supermarket and he opened the door, like it was the automatic door, but he like used the force, and he's like, "Still got it." That's what I want to see. Like, I want to see like these serious characters do like ordinary things. It must be funny.
I'm saying that as if, it couldn't happen. But I remember, like, this is completely random, but I remember seeing this video recommended to me on YouTube, and it was like talking about American like destroyer ships and how they've got Starbucks on them, and some of them. So I'm like, you know what? It's not that far-fetched.
Yeah.
When are we going to get, like, Bill, a Starbucks story or something like that? Just a guy who works on the desk sergeant, just in retail or something. That would be cool.
I want to do like an office style, right? Like office style series on a Death Star.
Oh, that would be
and
awesome.
be like make episode about Darth Vader buying a new Nintendo Switch, and being like all excited, like, "Oh my god, can I wait to play Legend of Zelda?"
What do you mean drifting's part of the fun? This Joy-Con's been broken for 10 years.
I want to see like Emperor Palpatine be like, "Let me talk to your manager."
Oh, fantastic. I love how we've just gone on this tangent. The Bad Batch is great, but I love how we've gone off on this tangent.
It's good, but do you know what's better? Darth Vader's shopping list. Come on.
Yeah, come on. Let's get that, Disney. You have the money. Don't be cowards. Come on.
Let me this. And I want the actual actors playing. I want Hayden Christensen being in Darth Vader suit. I want Ian McKellen. No, not Ian McKellen. What's the name?
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah. I want Ewan McGregor going to the shop, going to the barber shop. You're like, "Oh, can I have a mullet, please?"
I bet you the Lego one will go down that line.
No, I want live action. I want to see Ewan McGregor as the Obi-Wan Kenobi being like, "Can I have a mullet, please? Can you make this hair shorter?"
Well, on that note, yeah, that is probably going to be next week's episode when we talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like, looking back very briefly onto the Bad Batch, I do agree. Like, there has to be, like, I actually don't know what I want from this series. Like, I feel as if it has very sharp ups and downs. Like, the start of the series for me personally was great. Then it really dipped when it was all the side character stuff. Ryloth was pretty cool. That stuff was cool. Then it dipped again until we got to the Imperial Outpost planet, and then Camino again. And then by the finale, it's petered out. And I hope that, because there is like an after credits scene where all these commandos, how they got so many commandos, I don't know, but they got all these commandos waiting for the Kaminoans who come in. They've been like arrested and everything, and they're going to work in a secret project, and that's when it fades to black. So it'll be interesting to see what that's all about. I'm curious. I wouldn't say like I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for it to return. Like, in a way, like, I'm curious to see what happens next, but I can
You know what they
hold
should
off.
do?
Yeah.
Do you know what they should, like, all seriousness, right? They should do like a huge battle between clones and the Empire. I want to see like Victory cruisers, the Republic ones, against Victory. I'm talking nonsense. I forgot the name of those.
I know exactly the one you're talking about. Yeah, versus the Star Destroyers.
No, those Republic ones. How they're called?
Venerators.
Venators.
Aye, Venators.
So I want to see like Republic, like Venators against like the
Star Destroyers,
or like those Star Destroyers class 1, and just a huge battle. TIE fighters against like those those fighters that the Republic has. A-wings, is it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, like they've got A-wings. They've got the prototype X-wings, things like that. Yeah,
I just want to like see the clones die in a big glory. Like in a huge battle. And after that, I want to see a stormtrooper celebrating by going to Primark and try new helmets. Be like, this one's got better vision. Oh, this one's actually a little bigger.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
That's amazing. And see, on that note, that's what we expect, Disney. We expect a sponsorship with Primark. It's gonna, let's face it, like the Bad Batch stuff is all gonna be on. It's gonna be in the store anyway, so you might as well cash in on it.
Let's make a commercial right now. Do you want to be cool like Bad Batch? Go to Primark. They got the newest clothes from whatever. I don't know. I can't do it.
I don't know, from Coruscant clothes, let's say.
Coruscant clothes.
For when you want that smoky smell on your clothes, go to Coruscant clothes.
When you don't want to look like a nerf herder.
Oh, I like that. I like that. See, you'll probably see my contact details. Get in touch. We'll sort out the rest. Don't you worry. And yeah. On that note, Jan, thank you so much for for joining me in this Bad Batch discussion. And before we wrap up, where can these lovely listeners sitting at home find your content?
It's gonna be difficult now because we are both me and Craig. We are very, 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 very busy in our personal life. We are planning to come back. We are planning big guests, not like any guests, like famous guests.
Like
but
me.
It's yes.
Sorry,
of course.
we
are in talks with this famous wrestler from UK who might join on the podcast. Also, we got this big comedian also having interview with him on our podcast. And also we gonna have a new host who's gonna help us, who's also a famous wrestler. Man, all my pals, even Craig, are now famous, and I'm the only one who didn't make their debut on TV. Everyone is so busy being on TV. I'm just the guy who has to work. Either way, you can find us on the Beer and Chill podcast. You can listen to the older episodes. We did this great series where we just talk, go back to nostalgia. There's this series where we go through all Assassin's Creed games, I'm very proud of that series as well. There's something for everyone in our podcast. We are funny, we are handsome, but you can't see us, so bad for you. And yeah, that's it. Beer and Chill podcast on Spotify. You know what? It's actually everywhere.
Yeah, it's the same as this podcast. It's on Anchor, Spotify, really all good podcast apps, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
And I've said this before. If either Satsunami or Beer and Chill Pod don't pop up, just delete your podcast app. Get a better one. I'm only half kidding.
Don't worry.
Yeah,
for people who knows us, we cannot come back. We just don't know when. It's difficult in our personal lives. Like I said, everyone is too busy, even me. So hopefully we're gonna come back soon.
And definitely check out Beer and Chill's past content. It is fantastic, honestly.
I know. I edited it. So
exactly. Yeah, from one editor to another. Trust me, I know the struggles you must go through editing these episodes.
Those nights.
Oh yeah, yeah. It can be rough sometimes. But genuinely, no, it's always a blast being on. Whenever you invite me on to Beer and Chill, it's always been a blast. And honestly, thank you so much. It's been a blast as well.
Oh, thank you for having me here. And finally talking about Star Wars. I'm trying to get into your podcast for so long to talk about Star Wars, and I'm finally here. We need to do it again.
Absolutely.
Star Wars Visions is coming out, so hey, let's chat about that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that'll probably be the next one we'd work on.
Yeah.
If not,
I'm gonna talk for hours. I'm gonna swear. I'm gonna do everything you don't like, so you can edit it, and have fun editing it, and you can just think of me when you're gonna edit it.
We're gonna have two versions of it. We're gonna have the family-friendly Christian clean one, and then we're gonna have Jan's R-rated version or 18 plus. It's like the Snyder cut. Yeah, the Snyder cut of podcast episodes. It's all going to be in black and white, but because it's audio based, you won't be able to tell.
The sound is black and white.
Yeah,
you can't tell it.
Exactly. Do you know what it needs? Before I quickly wrap up, do you know what it actually needs? You get in the very old stereotypical Western films where it's all grainy and you get the piano playing in the background.
I know what you mean. I was just thinking of that. I was like, we should do that.
Yeah, just in the background, it's just that cut. Yeah, it'll be fantastic. I do agree.
Maybe we should talk in the old movies, the war movies, even how they did in the Clone Wars, In today's episode, we're gonna talk about the Bad Batch. You know what? I can do it. I can do the voice. Yeah. Can you do the 40s voice?
Just trying to think of something to say. Oh,
Clone Wars, they always did it
at the beginning, tragedy in this podcast episode today.
That was so good. Yeah. That was so good. I closed my eyes for a second and I imagined the voice actor who did it for Clone Wars. Do it again.
Oh God, no.
That was actually terrible. Very good.
Oh, I know what they're going for. I have to admit, but it is just previously on the last episode of The Bad Batch. And you hear the typewriter and everything. Meanwhile,
I'm so sad you. I'm so sad you can see my reaction just now.
Yeah. It's It's like, at the end of this episode, buy your Satsunami Pit War bonds. Support the fight. It's like, no, don't. For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Support the fight.
Support the fight. Support us on Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, and all good podcast distributors.
Be like Crosshair. Support the fight. Slap some children and kill some grannies.
Yes.
Join the Empire. It's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. You mean like that? Join the Empire. It's pretty cool. Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say, little Timmy? It's like I want to go.
What do you think, little Timmy? Do you like the Empire?
I want to go home. I want to go home, Mr. Crosshair. And you just hear the gun cocking in the background. It's like, oh no. Anyway,
little Timmy didn't make it home.
Yeah, you thought it was like a disease, and you thought it was a disease in A Christmas Carol that took out Tiny Tim. No, it was Crosshair. And on that note,
Bumpy's mom. It wasn't a car.
Oh.
It was Crosshair.
And on that, very disturbing note, thank you all so much for listening to this episode. Thank you again, Jan, for joining me. And as always, stay safe, stay awesome, stay hydrated, and most importantly, I was about to say may the force be with you, but with the Bad Batch, we'll see. For season 2, we'll see.
Definitely.
Bye, guys.
Bye.